Welcome back, everybody, to our. Did we figure out the count? Is it 85 or 86?
85.
85. 88, number 85, Bandwidth and Banter. I can't believe we've gotten to talk to so many amazing people. Now, obviously, some of these were return interviews and Legacy of Lore Masters. So make sure you guys check out our new series that we have sometimes on Thursdays. But man, last week we got to have Closet Scully on for her return interview, and it was fantastic.
So good.
And I love, she's so sweet and cute. She shared that she was, the first time we had her on, she was nervous, but the second time she wasn't. And it yeah, melts my heart. She's amazing. Guys, go check out Closet Scully. One of the best VTubers on Twitch, without a doubt. And
even though she's 3D.
Yeah. Very versatile person, very knowledgeable about lots of interesting different things. And like she's, super into all manner of things related to it. But another person that we know who has a vast knowledge and a wide variety of things that he does is who we have on the stream tonight. He's a good stream friend of Ilticine's, and we're super honored to have him on the show and can't wait to share all the facets of this fascinating man. So let's have him on. Hey, everybody, it's I stuttered there. Itisdpayne.
Hello. Oh man. You hype me up way more than I hype up myself. I'm like, oh man, I like to meet this guy. Oh wait.
I mean, from all the digging we did, everything I said is 100% true and I can't wait to dig into these questions because there are so many things that you do, the very multiple facets of your stream that is awesome and unique and special. And so we're honored to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
I think I was telling you guys earlier, it's like the first time I ever guested on something like this before. So I'm like, oh, cool.
Yay!
Well, please reintroduce yourself and share something that you want to highlight about your stream.
All right. I'm itisdpayne. We do, the normal spiel that I give when people raid is we do both RPGs, both physical and digital. The more dice, the better. And on Sundays, we cook. So that's, pretty much my stream in a nutshell. And then my brain blanked out. So
okay, it's okay.
Don't forget to highlight. Don't you have a special once a year charity stream?
Oh yes, yeah. So once a year we have a charity stream. It is done in July, the end of July, called Charity Palooza. It was our 6th year doing this, where we raised money for One Up on Cancer. We've been doing that every year, and it's amazing. Like if you guys, the past couple years, we've combined TTRPGs with charity, and it's just been a blast. Where there's been a meme going around now whenever I do this called Slippy Shoes, where pretty much they kill some creature and somehow the blood magically infuses their shoes where they no longer have a move speed. They just go forward until they hit something. And and so, it is. We do that. And so Ilt had to deal with that. And he's like, this is fun, but also terrible. So
that sounds like Ilt.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over.
No, that's good, right. I was just saying that sounds just like Ilt. That's
like our big thing that we do this year, during the year. And that's pretty. And then and a couple different podcasts. Actually, we're closing one of them, which is like a Call of Cthulhu podcast. That's it's like whenever you run one of these things, it's like, wait, you're actually finishing a game? Yeah. So that's fun. But and so But yeah.
Well, let's jump straight into the interview questions. Thank you for sharing a little bit more about yourself. And I think these questions are going to highlight all the stuff that we've kind of mentioned here at the beginning. First off, though, It is Payne. Please share a boring fact about yourself.
Oh man. I know you said there's gonna be softballs, and I'm like, oh no, I gotta think of myself. Let's see. Oh my goodness, I wasn't planning on getting stumped on the first question.
Okay.
Sorry, don't feel bad. This one is the only stumper, and it's usually the one that stumps people.
Yeah, everybody's just like, what is this?
Like, oh no, an interview? An interview? Oh no. Let's see. A boring fact about myself is, let's see. Oh no, I don't even know if it's like even an interesting fact, which I guess it would be fit in. Is like I still have a dice set that I bought last year at PAX Unplugged that I still haven't used because I refuse to open it. And so it just sits in the dice bag every time I go and play. And I'm like, it's too pretty to roll.
That fits. Yep. I get you. I love it.
The dice tower that I never use because it's too pretty. That I spent an obscene amount of money on. So I get it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to use it for this character. It fits the theme and everything. And then this week, I'm like, no, not yet. It's like, what if they roll bad?
Then I'll hate them. Oh my goodness. It is Payne. How did you pick your Twitch name and what was the inspiration?
So actually, dpayne was my nickname in college. And so it's Payne is actually my last name. And so, and me not being very creative in naming things, I'm very thankful for name generators. I'm just like, I'll just use that and put it is in front of it. But yeah, it worked out well. And at first it didn't catch on. And then like at my college, we had like intramural flag football and all my roommates called me that. And then there was just, I'm a bigger dude. And so I wasn't even paying attention because like the field, like the game, they like threw the ball down. I'm just standing there like, okay. And for some reason, the kid runs into me and falls over. And I'm just like, what was that? And like all my roommates like, dpayne! And then that's what my name has been in that group of friends. And I'm like, hey, if it works, it works. So.
Right on.
I love that.
Yep.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, you and I kind of have that in common. My stream name is a variation of my real name and a nickname. So very cool, very cool.
Did you tackle somebody in college football?
No. My actual name is David Storm, but everyone always used to call me Stormy. And so when I was thinking of my stream name, I was like, well, I'll just use my nickname. And make it a little more interesting and put the D on the end. So there's Stormy D.
All right.
Stormy D? SSG?
So, what D&D class do you consider yourself to be in real life?
Oh boy. Let's see. Now I got to go through them all. Actually, let's see. I know ones that I would like to be, but I guess, I guess Barbarian would probably be one, just being very stubborn for some of the like projects I work on. And it also feels like sometimes like I'm also remembering I played a Barbarian in a game and everyone got mad because I wasn't your stereotypical Barbarian. But but yeah, I think when I imagine Barbarians, they're like, I have plan and I'm going to stick it. I only have one way to do it, and that's just charge forward. And that's kind of a lot of the things I do where I'm like, I have an idea and I only know one way, which is just jump in. So, yeah, that I'll go with that one.
It's a good one. That's a good way to live too. That's good stuff. I mean, a lot of people get paralyzed with not going forward with their ideas. So I think that's awesome.
I love that. What is your favorite edition of D&D, and what is your favorite TTRPG system?
So I know this is a controversial answer in the D&D community, but I have a soft place in my heart for 4th edition because it is what I was brought in on. Like
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
There are things I do like about 5e, but I think 4th edition does get a little bit of a bad rap sometimes, where it's just like it literally is an RPG war game. Like that's pretty much what it is. Like if you like JRPGs, that's what 4th edition is. It's like you have your abilities and you can use them a certain amount of times. But I do play 5th edition. That's what my home game, what they like to play. But
that is definitely a hot take, especially around here. But the way I like to view it is, it's like pineapple on pizza. You know, some people love it, some people hate it. I may be in the hater category of 4th edition, but I totally get that you have a soft spot for what you started with. So, and I'll share that I tried 4th edition, hated it so much that I took the books back the next day. But I will give it big credit. I feel like it would be the perfect RPG system for if you were doing, instead of a fantasy world, doing a superhero world, like with the DC or Marvel universe. I feel like it would be perfect for that.
Yeah, there's what was it? They just came out with a new system. Oh, I forget. It begins with an M, but it's pretty much 4th edition. And it's like, if you guys like this, and I'm like, that's something I never heard anyone say. Like, I miss 4th edition. I can also see Ilt in chat, just like flaming me about my opinion. And I will say 3.5 I would love to play. I do love Pathfinder, which is like a different color of 3.5.
Yep.
The second part is what TTRPG I do like or enjoy. Was that what?
And what is your favorite TTRPG system in general?
Okay. I really like Call of Cthulhu. I really like skill-based RPG systems where it's like you roll a D100 and you try to roll under your thing. It's just, in my mind, it makes a lot more sense of just like trying to roll under it. And it might also help that it's the one I've played, like have ran the most. So I do like that. And then I guess like if that Cthulhu and like that style game would be like my A answer, like, but tied with it would probably be like games like Traveler, mainly because I love the life path system for character creation. It's so fun.
What was it called?
Traveler. It's a game from the 80s that they just recently remastered isn't the right word.
Reprinted.
Yes. Mongoose. It's right behind me. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, right here. Traveler. Mongoose Studio. They did it. They did the republishing of it, and when it first came out, it was famous where you could die in character creation with what you roll, and then they got rid of that in this version, and then like all the like hardcore fans of like the ones from the 80s, like, this isn't Traveler because you can die, and it's like, oh no, you have to do more work to play the game, but it's a lot of fun. It's very much like if you want to play a sci-fi game, but you don't like, you can do anything. Like if you want to do Firefly, Star Wars, pick anything. It's very versatile in what kind of story you want to tell.
Cool.
Very cool. That sounds awesome. Speaking of awesome game worlds, itisdpayne, please share how you got into the Call of Cthulhu TTRPG and a little about your current campaign.
Yeah. How did I get into it? I think I was listening to a podcast that I don't think anyone's heard of. I think it's, oh no, I'm blanking on it. It's Tomes and Tentacles. It's this very like early TTRPG thing. I'm blanking on who did it, but they were I'm pretty sure it's still out there. but it was my first introduction to it, this podcast. And their whole thing, which kind of is what I like about games, is just like story over like the roles. Whereas like I know some people are like, they get stuck in the roles, like, what's this role, and they're like, hey, let's tell the story, and then when we have to roll to make things up, like figure out what's happening, let's go. I'm not as far in that camp as they were, but that was my introduction of learning about this. And then there was a couple other podcasts I listened to that I'm completely blanking on their names because it was years and years ago. But after that, it just intrigued me. And then I started looking into it. And I just pretty much asked my friends, I'm like, hey, I have a story that I want to play. And I know a few guys were interested in playing Call of Cthulhu. And we are pretty much, I think next month is when the last episodes are coming out for season 1. I know we're planning on doing season 2, but yeah, that is it is a type of story that I never want to do again because it sounded really good on paper. And then as we got farther on, I really saw the weaknesses in the way the story was, but pretty much it was supposed to be like snapshots of every 10 years. And you're supposed to follow like this family and these like kind of weird things that happen. But one of the things I personally like to do with Cthulhu is base it in real world stuff. And I decided, like, I'm from Pennsylvania, so I'm like, there's a bunch of weird crap that happens in Pennsylvania that people just don't even realize until you dig into it a little bit. And I'm like, all right, well, let's start with the weirdest thing. We're going to start in Centralia. So we started, I think 60 years before, I don't know. We started in the 1920s as the characters were kids. And then we went up to like 1930 something, and then 1940s. And we just kept going up to where it's now like, yeah, the last thing is like they're in March 2020.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
But each episode or each chapter, as we've been calling them, is like anywhere between 9 to 12 episodes, which it's really fun to do that. And just kind of, it really fleshes out like my alternate history world.
Right.
But
yeah,
there's one of the things that you're missing from it is that since there's so much time between there, they can really counteract sanity and like a lot of the Cthulhian stuff. And so I'm like, I can't make them go insane, like, because it's of all this stuff, which we still have some fun things that are going on. I think by the end of it, we got a little bit looser on like breaking. It's just like, okay, if you really ruin your role, it's like, okay, let's get some of these effects in here. But yeah, that's the thing. And then next game, I'm like, okay, we're not jumping around in time. It's going to be one thing. But yeah, that's, I don't know. It was just that we all had a blast with that.
Oh,
That's
cool.
fantastic. Thank you for sharing.
It's all going to be one storyline, so I can make you guys go insane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's real. It's been fun because it's just like, hey, well, these two characters are still here, but you just so happen to keep killing your characters. So there's one person that has like 3 times the amount of characters compared to the other 2. And it's just like, okay.
All right. I guess this works. itisdpayne, what can you share about your process of building your own TTRPG system?
Oh, wow. You guys really dug in there. Well, I guess I do talk about it.
We slooped around.
Yes. It's interesting. I think I'm on the 4th version of it.
Okay.
And this is the version that I feel the most confident in. But it's like, I pretty much was like, it started off with, what do I like about like certain game mechanics, or how would I want to do this? Because like it all started off as like, man, it'd just be nice if I could like have my own. And then I'm like, well, why can't I? But yeah, it all started off with me talking about that, and we had one two play test for one version, and that one, I'm trying to remember what it was, because like I wanted to use, I think it was like it's either D8s or D12, so I didn't want to use like the common die system, but but like that was interesting where like I wanted to be like more story based where you had your skills, and rather than like being like, okay, it was, that one was set up like, here's a scene and you need to get it. Okay, I know everyone gave me crap about 4th edition, but like this is a thing from 4th edition, which I think got brought into 5th. That's a tweak, but it's like ability check, not ability checks, but it's like you have a string. It's like you need to make 5 skill checks successes to get on past this scene, and that's pretty much what it was based around. And so like if you crit, you got 2 successes, and you wanted to keep building up to that so you could pass the scene and like you could take control and move on to the next part of the story, which I liked it, but it wasn't fully where I wanted it. And so that's what it's been a lot of, is just like sitting there and like trying to imagine like, okay, what is the world like? What I had to do recently was sit down and like, okay, what kind of game do I want to do? Do I want like a shorter, like one-shotty game like Mork Borg, or there's other ones that I'm totally blanking on, but like a shorter kind of one-shot game, or do I want something that could tell stories over multiple sessions? And I'm like, well, I want to tell stories over multiple sessions. So I love stories. So with that, I'm like, okay, well, what kind of world? And then I looked at what am I reading that really interests me that I haven't seen in the TTRPG world, or at least shown a lot. And so I read a lot of like Korean comics, and there's like this one story that always gets me in there where it's like, hey, the apocalypse happened, which opened up all these dungeons around the world, and now we're good. And so we go in there to get monster parts and like build our whole economy off what's there. But if we're not careful, dungeon says oopsie poopsie and breaks out into the world. And so I'm like, you know what, I could simulate that in the game that I want to tell. And now it's just like, I haven't told a lot about the newest game on there, because I'm like, okay, this one I feel a lot of motion for it. So I was like, okay, you guys will see it when it comes out. So,
Fair enough. Yeah, we get
100%.
that.
Totally get it. I love that. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So what drew you to Twitch?
I was streaming on YouTube, and my friend who was someone I met on there who's now my mod was like, why are you streaming on YouTube? This was like 7 years ago. He's like, why are you streaming on YouTube? No one streams on YouTube. And I'm like, I'm streaming on YouTube. And he's like, you should go on Twitch. And so I did. and so I was there, and then I went to Mixer for a couple of years, and then that whole fun with Mixer when they're like, hey, we're done. I'm like, oh, okay. So came back to Twitch. So yeah. That's not a big, deep story. It's just like, hey, you should do it. Okay.
Yeah. So why were you streaming on YouTube? Like, what drew you to start streaming in general?
I was just curious. Well, actually, I was doing YouTube videos. At that time, I was mainly just doing Fallout and like just, I think Minecraft. Yeah, Minecraft. And then I lost my login, and then I never found out how to get back into Minecraft, which I'm okay with. But the way I was doing videos, I'm like, man, I want to play Dark Souls 3, but I don't think I can make it into a fun series, because at that point, like, really long form content wasn't big at that time. It was very much like you want to shoot for 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And now it's a little bit different, but yeah, it was, I didn't want to, I was like, you know what? And I was like, I know I can stream it. It looks like the internet and everything can hold up. Let's just try it. And so I did that. And yeah, that's how we made George the Coward. And so it was my first ever Souls game, and a couple people came in and they told me, "Hey, check out Twitch." And I was like, "Isn't that for like big people?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Okay." And then I went over.
All right, cool.
Nice.
Sounds good with me. I love that. That's fantastic. What did friends and family think when you told them that you first planned on streaming?
My brother, one of my brothers thought it was, he was like, "Oh, cool," and thought it was interesting. He would come in and troll every once in a while. And then my mom and dad really didn't fully understand it until I started bringing like the cooking stuff. Because then that was something they could understand. And then they're like, "Well, do you practice your cooking thing?" And I'm like, "No, I just make it while I'm there." And they're like, "Well, aren't you teaching people how to cook?" No, I'm not teaching people how to cook. But yeah, it's like that they understood a little bit better because that was in the realm of their TV watching, like, oh, Food Network, I know what people do, and that makes sense. I can understand people watching people cook. Watching people play video games, I don't understand that. So
it's the same thing.
yeah, different entertainment.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But yeah, it's but now they just know it's like my dad, he's just like, "Oh, are you still doing this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll say it's a hobby. I'm enjoying it." He's like, "Oh, okay." And that's as far as it goes. Like he'll never log in and watch. I have to buy his stuff on Amazon, so I know there's no way he's gonna actually find out how to log in on Twitch.
That's fantastic.
What struggles did you deal with when you first started streaming?
Let's see. I think I don't think I had a ton of struggle because it's like when I started off, it was just like streaming wasn't what it is now. So like where there's like expectations where you got to be on, like back then it was very much be on as much as you can. And I'm like, I have responsibilities and stuff. So I can only be on here one day for like a couple hours. And then I got other stuff I need to get done. And then as I learned and enjoyed it more, I just naturally grew from it. And so like, I think, I don't know, one of the biggest struggle, which it, honestly looking back at it, is like, I didn't want to put my face on there, but like people in my chat were like, "We want to see who you are." And I'm like, that's weird. And then I was like, fine, you get me to 100 followers, I'll do a webcam. And they're all like, deal. And it was like within a month, it's just like, when you got me to 100 followers, I'm like, I should have said more.
I feel that way about the maid cosplay. Yep, definitely.
Which is on YouTube, guys. If you want to check out Stormy in a maid cosplay, it is on YouTube.
But yeah, I think with like a lot of the struggle stuff, it's like I was not part of that world. Like I didn't really start watching YouTube until college, and all that like me and my roommates did was watch like blooper videos of like animal fails and like baby fails and just like silly goofy videos. The concept of a YouTuber didn't really like, I didn't really understand that until, or like begin to grasp it until like I was like 24. And like about that time I'm like, whatever, I'm just doing this as fun. It's like if something happens. But yeah, that would have, yeah, that was a while ago. I was like, oh man, 24. That was like 10 years ago. But I haven't been doing online content for 10 years. That's probably been closer to 7. But I don't know. I just love and enjoy doing it. So
yeah,
and you're great at it too.
Beautiful.
So it fits.
Oh, thank you.
What tips can you share with future streamers?
I would say, first off, ignore the number of people watching, because it's very easy to get stuck in the mindset of like, oh, it's just me watching, and you're not being entertaining because you're just like, well, it's just me, who cares? So it's like, don't pay attention to the number. and don't like play something that you enjoy to like get practice of literally talking to nobody. Like there's nobody here. Like this is different because like we're on a call together, but most of the time it's just like if you're playing a single player game or something, you will be talking by yourself. And sometimes it's just you gotta sometimes narrate what you're thinking or something. But I know that's a lot of like YouTube kind of mentality, but like now it's just like whether it's something you're good at or you enjoy doing, like what I've noticed is that a lot of people are drawn to people having fun.
Yes.
And so if you're doing that, and then another great thing is if you have friends that you game with, like bring them on, tell them like, hey, I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to be trying this out. Just letting you guys know. And sometimes like if they're for it, like do your normal game session together. There's how many like not even just streaming people like YouTuber streamers like have like just I'm playing with my friends and people are just like learn the personalities of like not only the streamer but their friends and seeing how they all work together. It's like look at what you have. Like you don't need to scrap everything and start from zero. Like if you have a group of friends that you play games with, like tell them, hey, I'm interested in doing this. Do you guys mind playing whatever you guys play? We'll just do it like normal and just don't be a terrible person on mic. So, but yeah, it's, I think there's a lot of things that people have that they might overlook and they might not realize that it's just like, oh wait, I do have a friend group or like, because before, like, I know this was on the mixer side where it's just like, all you got to do is play either Minecraft or Fortnite and you'll just have people. And it's just like, well, why? Like they're not staying. So,
yeah.
And then it's always the question, I don't know if you guys were on Mixer, but it's just like, how are you playing Minecraft on your computer? What do you mean? This is how it started. So, but yeah, I think it's to start off, like find some friends or just find a game that you love to play and that you feel comfortable, like just talking and sharing about. And then after that, like, yeah, it's something I'm terrible at, but like sharing it on like the social stuff, like there's so many people that have blown up just if that's your goal. If it's a hobby, just like, yeah, just do whatever you want to have fun. But if it's your goal to like make it your job, and then that's a different conversation.
Sure.
Well, switching gears a little bit, what do you enjoy most about streaming?
I think it's the conversations like with people. I tell my stream all the time, like I don't play video games outside of streaming. It's I have so many other things that I'm like working on that I'm enjoying that it's that like I'm like, okay, I could play games, but then there's like I could work on a couple other things. But when I'm with them, I'm playing games or we're cooking and it's we just got like a real like cozy corner pretty much of just like, oh hey, how's life? How's that? And like I'll just pause the game. Like the game's secondary. Like like if we want to talk and stuff, like we'll talk. Like I don't care. Like I've talked about like serious like subjects about stuff in the middle of Dead Space. Where that wasn't, I'm like, this, I was not expecting to get into this topic while fighting necromorphs. So, but it's like, but like making this connection is just, there's people that have been in my community for a couple years now. And so it's like just learning and just seeing like, oh, how's life? How's this? How's your pets, wife, kids, dogs are pets. But yeah, like all that and just checking in. Like it's and just sharing. Like I tell them, I'm like, look, I'm not gonna hide stuff from you guys. Like I'm very open. Here's what is like going on in my life. Here's going on there. And it's just like there's very little that I hide from them and or like that I don't tell. Did I say that right? Anyway, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's but I think like me being open is allows other people to be open and just like I don't know. It's like you're telling a stranger about some pretty serious on the internet, some pretty heavy things, but it's just like no, like if you need someone to vent to and all that, and that's like just those like connections that have been made over the years is just something that has been great and
Agreed.
and fun.
I love that. Yeah. Honestly, the best part about Twitch,
Mm.
for sure, is connecting with the people.
Yep.
What is your favorite thing and your least favorite thing that you have streamed?
This is tough because I I do a lot of random things. I let's see. I think my favorite thing that I've done is it would probably be a combo of what my stuff is now is the TTRPG stuff and the cooking. Yeah, that like I pretty much people who have been there since the beginning watched me learn how to cook on Twitch. And now they're like, oh, you're a chef. I'm like, no, I'm just an idiot that doesn't cut his fingers often with a knife. And I'm like, I'm a very good instruction follower with recipes because I don't want to poison myself. So I think that is my like favorite thing I'm doing on Twitch currently. I think actually no, my absolute favorite would be the charity stuff. That would like that is like an all year thing, and I'm like I want to do more, but I don't want to burn out the audience and stuff, especially with the economy the way it is right now. I'm like, okay, I would love to do more charity stuff, but it's like it isn't the wisest thing to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's see. My least favorite thing would probably be anytime I'm like, I want to play this open world game and I realize how much I don't like open world games. I'm like, this is awesome. And I'm like, oh no, there's so much to do. I'm like, I'm not ready. I don't stream a lot. And this is going to be like 3 years.
Yes.
And so normally I'll just find a goal and I'm like, okay, I got what I wanted.
Right on.
Yes.
Right on.
Oh man.
On that note, what's the very first video game you ever played?
Oh man. First one played would probably be Mega Man X at my cousin's house that I can remember. I don't really think I played it except I jumped up and down because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was just like, oh no. But after that, I think the one where I felt like I actually played and understood the mechanics is the first Rayman game. Little limbless dude that could throw punches, and it was like a 2D platformer on the PlayStation 1.
Love that.
Wow. Classic.
I was never allowed to play any of those. I got kicked out of the room.
Did you destroy the house like I did when Power Rangers came on?
I was just way too high energy all of the time for any of the people that I knew that had video games that were in the family, because they were just like, you talk too much, you're too noisy, get out of here. And I'm just like,
That's why people don't like watching movies with me now, because I'm just like, I just talk over them because I'm like, well, they're not doing anything.
I need to watch the subtle nuances. What inspired the chaotic, wholesome description to your stream? The pizza motif, and who is the pizza king?
Okay, so the chaotic wholesome, that pretty much me. It was a group of friends. We were playing Civ 6. That's what we were playing. And his name's EOG. Is really talented, very very smart guy. Like that, him and all those. Like I don't understand why that group of the internet is friends with me, because they are so smart. And then there's me that's just like, hey, just like I'm gonna run through the store. like we used to do a bunch of games, and I think we were doing that, and then we did Cuphead. And he's like going into like all the different strategies and everything, and I'm like, I want the charge because I like charge, and that became like the meme for the whole thing. And he's just like, dude, you're chaotic wholesome, and I'm like, I'm stealing that, and just that's pretty much what it became. And then I just haven't found a better way to describe my internet persona and real life persona.
Yeah,
It suits.
So
fantastic description. I love it so much. Bless your heart for even touching Cuphead.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like open world games, but I love games where it's just like everyone's like, do you not like yourself for like I love Souls games and I love the Cupheads. Like I enjoyed Cuphead. I'm not good at it, but I'm just like, I don't know. It tickles that part of my brain where I'm like, this is great. I love it. I have to repeat this 300 times, but I'm enjoying myself. I don't know why, but the Pizza King and pizza stuff all kind of came out of the same area. Because like at the time, I think I was noticing a lot of my other friends at the time that were streaming kind of had like themes to their emotes and just different things they were doing. And I'm like, what do I want to do? And this is before I started even doing TTRPG stuff, where I'm just like, what if I got a pizza, cut out holes for like the mouth and like eyes to put like gifs of like weird swirly stuff behind it. And then it was just like, hello, it's me, Pizza King. What do you want? And it just became a whole thing where people would like come in there and he would just insult people and they loved it. And so like people would ask a question. He's like, that would be the stupidest question I've ever heard. What are you doing? and then I would just ruin my throat like I'm doing now and have to drink a whole bunch of water. But right now I it's really funny because I'm in a stage of, I guess, rebranding a little bit, and I'm like, okay, Pizza King, like he's gonna retire. As much as I love him and doing that, it's just I noticed like the interaction stuff that would normally come on with Pizza King doesn't normally get hit as often. So I'm like, okay, let's what can we switch up? What can we change and everything? And so it's like Pizza King's been part of the community for 5 years, 6 years, like that, and it's like we can give him some rest now. So, but yeah, but Pizza King, the name of that all started off with, it's actually a nickname they gave a guy at my work because he like it. I stole the name that pretty much everyone who was being mean spirited to him. I'm like, well, I wanted to take that name and use it for something silly. And so that's what I did. And that's how Pizza King came into place, where he is he's the king of the pizzaverse. And there's a whole bunch of like random characters that we brought up that never saw the light of day because I'm not technologically smart. Like I wanted to be as like if like a 1% chance that I hit the button for like the raid thing, it would show like a completely different character that he was at war with. And I'm just not smart enough to do that. And I didn't know anyone that could help me do that. And I'm like, so I have like art for, I think it was like Emperor Tart, which is like a Pop Tart, has no eyes and just has a scepter. And it's just like, just imagine just like, oh, Pizza King, I'm here to get, and it's just stuff like that. And I'm like,
oh, it's awesome. But, I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, between my own real like offline responsibilities and understanding of technology, that vision never saw the light of day. But I have all the art for that somewhere on my computer.
Right on.
That is so good, so fun, and I love that so much. It is so good. I remember the first time I saw Pizza King, and I was like,
yeah,
what is this? Who is this person? What is happening? Oh my god, beautiful.
So Payne, can you please tell us a little bit more about your podcast called Pointless Discourse?
Yeah, it's me and my very good friend Hotpocalypse, who was a streamer she doesn't stream anymore. She like the only online content that she does is the podcast. And but yeah, that friendship started off playing TFT, Team Fight Tactics. And we would just like, we would have podcast episodes pretty much without calling a podcast. And I was like, it was shortly after COVID started. I'm like, do you want to do like a podcast or something? We obviously work well off each other. And everything was like, if you want to do it, cool. If not, hey, that's also cool. And so let me get back to you. And now let's see, what episode are we on? If I can find this. Now.
Because your last episode was like Curse the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah, we're going through Curse the Cowardly Dog. If I could figure out, let's see. I know there's a way for me to find out what number episode this is. Yeah, 234 episodes. So
Wow.
like it's been going on for
Impressive.
a couple of years. Yeah, and it started off with us just doing because we used to do it live, and then that like just became too much. And so it's like, well, let's do it offline, and we'll just upload it to YouTube and an audio feed. And it started off with us doing BuzzFeed quizzes. Like we would find a subject, and like we would give our top 2 for each answer, and then we would close the BuzzFeed quiz. But when we kind of went offline, that didn't translate too well, like as an audio format too much. So we kind of eventually, we still bring it up from time to time where it's like, if we do certain, like last year we did all Gravity Falls. Like we did all Gravity Falls episodes talking about that. And at the end, we did like, what Gravity Falls character are you? And like, what background character? But yeah, it turned out from just doing random episode, like just random ideas from like worst candy cane flavors to just best 80s music videos to, well, thinking of, or like, and then I think one of our top episodes is the top 5 Always Sunny in Philadelphia episodes, which I think is still the only one that has an explicit tag on it because of just the subject nature of Always Sunny. But we're like, yeah, so we did that, but now we kind of transition to more like movies and TV shows, because that just works out a little bit easier for us. And we just been enjoying that. So yeah, we're going through Courage the Cowardly Dog now. But before that, we did it was a short series of we both wrote 6 obscure prompts for books, because we both read a lot. And so like we gave each other like random questions about books, and we had to come up with books that we've read and would recommend for that answer. So like, I know one of my questions was like a book that makes you yearn for public transportation. And then she gave me another one that I forgot, but it's like, so like we would do stuff like that. And then before that, we love A24. So we did, oh man, this was such a mouthful to say. We did 24 for A24 for 2024. So it's 24 episodes of A24 movies. And that was a lot of fun. Like we saw a lot of stuff, and but now everything, because it's so much shorter than 20, like a series of 24, we're just like, oh, okay, like these series are ending a whole lot quicker than we thought they would. So but yeah, it's we're very much like because I know some people, like when they do the podcast stuff, they're just very much like, oh, you got to do got to promote it in such a way. And we're very much like, hey, we just love doing this. And like, if people listen, they listen. Like it's very much like an excuse for us to catch up, talk, and then talk about one of our manic passions of entertainment. So
Gotcha.
So good.
Thank you.
when I saw that you guys did Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I was just like, the most traumatizing thing I've ever saw in my childhood.
Yeah, well, that's like because we learned our lesson with Gravity Falls. We're only doing season 1 because last time it's like we love Gravity Falls, but we like burned out on it because it's 40 episodes for that whole show. But and we're like, oh man, we never want to touch that again. But like, I think after a little while, we're like, I will watch it, not for the show. But so we're like, let's only do season 1 of A Courage the Cowardly Dog, and then we're realizing there's so many iconic Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes that are in season 1 that we thought were way later. Like the one that I'm pretty sure traumatizes everyone the most is Return the Slab. Yeah, I'm judging by your reaction. Yes. Sorry for any nightmares I caused for anybody, but that's like the 7th episode of season 1. And it's like, we both were like, we thought that was much later. So,
well, speaking of nightmares, this next question from Druid is going to be interesting.
Oh, so do you hate spam now, or do you still love it? Please elaborate on your spam trials.
Oh man. Yes, that all came on because during the cooking stuff, last year we did the noodle road trip where I found a country, found a noodle dish that they did there or multiple, and then made that. And then we just went along the world. And I was like, I want to do this again, but let's do curry. And I quickly found out that curry ingredients are expensive, specifically spices. And I'm like, this is killing me buying, I think it was like orange peel, whatever. It's still in there because it's not bad. I'm like, I'll throw it out when it gets bad or I'm going to use it. But it's like this random ingredients for one dish and it cost like $10. And I'm like, I can't keep doing this. And then it was a joke where I'm just like, yeah, I should just grab every spam I can and do that. And everyone's like, well, do it, coward. I'm like, well, you know what? So there's one spam that I won't have, and that's hickory smoke. It is the lowest scoring one, and it's the only one that like made me feel sick.
Oh wow.
So,
you.
But yeah, it was actually a lot of fun, and I still have spam in my freezer. So that is left over from that whole thing. I'm defrosting one now because I hate wasting food because it's like, that just feels very wrong for me. Like we're definitely in a place where we can buy food and everything. And it just feels wrong to me to throw it out. Even if I'm like, I don't want this. So I'm like, no, you bought it, you finish it. And so that's why I'm like, okay. So I think I have four more leftovers. And then the one figgy pudding one. Gotcha. That isn't opened.
What inspired you to do these cooking streams?
This actually started off. I think one of my streams it was very early on when COVID started, and lockdowns were just happening. I guess for a little bit of context for me, my life didn't change too much because like they were like, "Hey, you're still coming into work," and I'm like, "Great." So my everything I did. Oh, Starheart. Hey, he's part of our group. My stream. Hey, bud. But we started in COVID, and I think I was like, oh man, should I do a cooking stream? And they're like, if you want to. And I was like, let's make blueberry muffins. Oh. It's like, cool. And so we did that, and it was just such a chill time for such a chaotic time for everybody where I'm like, hey, we're just going to put on chill vibes. This isn't a show. We're just here to chat. And like, that's what it was. And I'm like, if you guys like this, I'll keep doing it. And so they're like, yeah, this was really nice, especially with some of them couldn't leave the house. And some of them, and that's really what helped a lot. Like, just really helped me get to know a lot of people. And then they all made fun of me for the second. I was like, what do you guys want me to do? I was like, make a lasagna. I'm like, okay. And so next week came by, I go to make a lasagna, and I'm like, wait, I was like, do I need tomato paste? And they're like, yeah, I'm like, I need to go to the grocery store. So, and like, bring us with you. I'm like, I don't have the data to bring you with me. You guys can watch last week's one. And I just brought up the stream, like, I'll be back. And so, or like, yeah. And so I just left the stream. I put on like a YouTube video of mine or something that I knew I could get there in time. And, but no, that's how it started off, which is just like, and that's how it's always been. Like, there are the chaotic moments of, it's not gonna not be chaotic, but that's always been the vibe that I had. That is kind of like Sunday night. It's just like, hey, we're just relaxing, we're chilling, we'll talk, we're gonna do stuff, we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna try something new. And then I'll do meal prep and all that stuff, and we're just gonna hear and vibe. And that's just kind of how the cooking streams has been ever since I started doing them. And some people I've seen, when the biggest comment I get even to this day, they're like, seeing you with a knife makes me nervous. And I'm like, you're not the, and then I'll be like, I'll point the knife at the gamers, like, you're not the one here. So, but yeah, that's kind of how it started, and just the general vibe of the cooking streams.
I love that. What is the favorite food that you've prepared during your cooking streams?
So for the noodle road trip, when we did some of the Italian dishes, the carbonara, I'm part Italian, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, my Italian blood is yelling of how good this is. And I think I ate way too much pasta that night. But that was one I liked. But when I first started off, I did a lot of Asian cooking because I never really had that. Like, I had Chinese food growing up, but it was like takeout, and it was never like these traditional dishes. And that's one thing I wanted to do is I want to find the traditional way to make some of these things rather than just like find somebody. So like when I find those dishes, I try to find somebody who was either trained on how to do that or grew up in that area, and like learn from their parents and stuff. So yeah, that's the Italian dishes were really nice. I think the one thing that was the most technical thing I made, mainly because I wanted, it was like just a Christmas stream, and I'm like, I'm going to make beef Wellington. And after that, I bought a food processor. So I'm like, I think I spent an hour cutting up mushrooms, and I was like, this is terrible.
Right on. So we're moving into the last three questions of the regular interview before we open up the floor. These are just kind of fun little joke questions. itisdpayne, what is the weirdest sleeping dream you've ever had that you're willing to share?
Man, I share them a lot. So there's many that there's not ones that I won't share. The most iconic one that I can remember when I was younger was I woke up in my dream, and I like looked out the window, teleported out of the window to like, this is more when my parents' house was, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, what's going on? And there's just this giant like mud volcano in this like patch of grass. The patch of grass is like maybe like a 10-foot cube. It's not big, but the thing was like super high, and I'm like, I have to climb up that. So I climb up there, and like my whole family is there sitting in like the volcano in a mud bath, just chilling. They're like, hey, what's up? And so I'm like, well, I guess I got to get in. This is cool. And then like, well, I'm done. Get out, walk down the mountain. And then there's just this dandelion in the middle of the driveway. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And then all of a sudden it starts screaming, and then catches on fire and starts running around everywhere. And then I woke up, and I'm like, oh, neat. So,
Wild.
Yeah, I've been having, I don't dream often, but I know I've told the stream this before, is that I found out that if I sleep a certain way, I can activate the part of my brain to give me nightmares. And I was like, this is cool. So, yeah,
That's a neat
those are the
trick.
ones that I remember most of the time.
Is it like just like your sleeping position?
Yeah, it's pretty much I got to sleep on a certain side of my body, and if I face the wall, it helps it more.
That's wild. That's interesting.
That is insane.
Which,
I never remember any of my dreams. So it's one of those things where I'm like, maybe that's my issue.
yeah, it's like, because normally I would just like, I would fall asleep and wake up, and I'm just like, all right. And then one day I'm like, whoa, that was a really stressful dream, but I had one. What was different? I wonder. And so I did it the next day, and I'm like, oh, I had it again. Whoa. And so like for a month straight, I slept in this position, had nightmares the whole month. And I was like, this is awesome.
I like it. I like it. You and I have that in common. I like my nightmares. They can be really fun, especially the haunted house ones. Druid, did you freeze up? Oh, no, you're there.
No.
Okay.
Did I miss? No, I didn't miss. Sorry. If you could be any superhero, which one would you choose and why?
I think I have an answer for Marvel and DC.
Perfect. Perfect.
If it was Marvel, I feel like this is a very like I feel like a lot of people would probably say this, but I would definitely want Wolverine's healing factor. And everyone's like, oh, so you could like not get hurt and every that. And I'm like, that'd be nice. And then other people said, what was it? They're like, oh, but you'll like outlive her. And was like, yeah, but just think, I don't need health insurance anymore. And they're like, that took all the fun out of it. I was like, you asked. So
no, it's actually very practical. I mean, you would never get any kind of disease. That's awesome.
I don't know if I would want to have metal grafted onto my skeleton, but I'll just take the healing. That's fine. But on DC, go ahead. Sorry.
So I just love that.
For DC, I love Green Lantern. I would love a Green Lantern ring. I highly doubt I would be chosen for a Green Lantern ring, but I would love one.
Right on. Those are great answers. I love it. So here's the last question of the regular interview before we open up the floor to some extra questions. And we have a few extra as well. But this one's like super important. And it's an either or. The one you choose, the other one no longer exists in the universe.
Oh, no.
You ready for this?
Yes.
Pepperoni or sausage?
So the one I choose stays.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think I'll choose sausage, because sausage has a lot more uses. Like I think, like for pepperoni, like I know there's a ton of uses for it, but it always feels like it can only be used to like, or mainly used with like pizza or like maybe like in a grilled cheese sandwich or something. I feel like sausage is a lot more versatile, because then they also have different styles. Like you can get like your sweet Italian, your spicy Italian. You can get all these different kinds and use them for like different kinds of meals and stuff and different cooking things. So I think I like both, but I think I would choose sausage for the versatility of what you can do with it. And now I'm gonna have a lot of people like, well, you could actually use pepperoni for this, and I'm like, that sounds disgusting.
I love your answer. That's perfect. All right, guys. Druid is sharing some links with you all here in just a second, if she hasn't already. And please go over to you sharing those now, Druid?
I'm snagging a couple questions really quick first, but I'll be posting the links in just a second.
Yeah, as soon as she posts them, go over go over to his Twitch channel and his excuse me, and his YouTube. Drop him a follow on Twitch and a sub on YouTube. And when you're in his chat, make sure that you give him biddies and subs too, to help support him and support his amazing presence on Twitch. Just a talented DM, a talented cook, a talented entertainer. Just really impressed with all the things that you do, and we appreciate you.
Thanks for having me here.
To open up the floor to some fun questions. I mean, not that the ones we had weren't fun, but oh wow, we got quite a few here.
Oh no.
We may not even be able to get to all of them, but
Don't even worry about this one. Well,
you get this next one, right?
So yeah, I'll get this one. So you have mentioned Charity Palooza, where you do a yearly thing. Like, what was the start of that? What started all of that?
Yeah. So my mom had cancer. She had stage 4 lung cancer. Unfortunately, she did not win that battle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and so from that, I wanted to. Charity was always something I wanted to do, but I'm like, there's nothing that I feel like a huge passion for. And when that happened, when my mom passed, over the past year, I was like, I want to honor her life, because I know that she wouldn't want me being like upset and just downcast, like my whole life for doing this. And I'm like, what if I honor her life by doing something that I know that she would love, which is helping other people? I know I didn't explain it too much, but One Up on Cancer's whole mission is that they raise money to help people who have trouble paying for their cancer treatment. Pretty much to do, like, let them literally do anything else but stress out where the money's coming from, whether that's be with friends and family, to just relax, or just like recover, like literally anything, but just like, I'm not going to make my payment. And so that's why I choose them. Like, fortunately, like my dad and family were like able to have insurance and be able to have like a job that was able to cover most of that, but it's still very expensive. Like, it's not just treatment. It's just, there's a lot of stuff. If you guys never had a family member or someone close to you go through cancer, there's a lot of stuff that happens like at home, where it's like, there's like medical like equipment that you have to like rent or bring home. There's like, some of them are diets that you have to pay attention to. It's for some people going to be a very big change. And so that was the start of it, where I'm like, I want to honor her life. And so I want to honor her by helping others. And so that's the reason why it's in late July, because that is the anniversary of her passing. And so we do that. And I am very thankful for just the multitude of like friends online that are able to come by, like, just hype that up and just either be in chat. Like, I tell everybody, and if anyone's wondering, like, how can I help a charity? This is a question here a lot. I know this isn't a question, but I think it's probably something good to answer. Is like, where some people are like, how do I help a charity event when I don't have money? And it's like, it's very easy. You be there and share it, right? Because if you're just being there, being part of the chat, just talking and just helping, like, and then just promoting it, like, there's people that are always in Discords or your own social media, and you got friends and family, whatever. It's like, it's the one thing that I tried to tell with any of my charity events, because I helped lead a handful of them now, where it's just like, hey, I can only reach so many people, but if these people and like my friends can just help, like, even just post it, like, hey, this is what dpayne's doing. If you have like any size streamer, like, or YouTuber, or just friend doing a charity thing, like, that's the biggest way you can help if you can't donate directly during the event, is to just be like, hey, I'm gonna be there as much as I can, and just tell people, because I'm gonna know people that you don't, and who knows who will bring in to help promote that and everything. So I just remember that was a question I get every time around Charity Palooza time, where it's just like, I don't have money. It's like, that's fine, just hang out. So Yeah.
This next question, I'm going to leave off a part of it because we already covered it earlier in the interview. But in regards to your cooking streams, what's this future of potatoes in your area?
Wait, the future of potatoes? Is that?
Yeah.
I mean-
yeah.
So right now we're doing the potato journey where I'm
Yeah.
finding a different recipe for potatoes. And so like it's kind of this. I pretty much found this web page that just has the top 100 dishes, potato dishes, and it's very much like I felt like 2/3 of them are like potato pancakes, which is exactly the same thing. Was like this one comes from Lithuania and this one comes from. I'm like, I don't want to make the same thing 8 times. So, but we've been trucking our way through that. But actually, if I go to my Discord, what are we doing this week? Because that one I have people in chat. I'm like, you should make this one, and I'm like, if it fits in this time slot, I'll make it. So I'm making Cajun potatoes.
Love that.
Nice.
Love that. I will say though, making potato pancakes are heckin' delicious.
Yeah.
I love
Oh, yeah.
them. I love them
yes.
so much. Have you made potato and leek soup yet?
No, I haven't. I made an Ecuadorian soup. I had like a comment when I posted on TikTok, like, oh, you didn't pronounce it right, so that's very rude. I'm like, I'm sorry, I offended the food by not knowing how to pronounce its name. but it's like there was no way how to pronounce it in the recipe, and I'm like, I don't know. but it was like a heavy cream milk mixed with potatoes and a couple of spices, and threw some avocado in there, and that was, and a little bit of cheese, and like, oh man, that was really good. But I think I have to look at the site.
Yeah.
I think there's a potato leek soup.
If you get the chance to make a potato leek soup, you should do it. It is so good.
Right,
it is so good.
Down to try any.
And you dip bread in it.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll have to remember that. I'll look it up.
10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Starheart Dragon asks, what's your favorite moment from being a GM, also a player?
Let's see. There's one moment that stands out as a player, and it's one of those stories that like can only happen in a home game, and not sure if it's okay to share on Twitch. but pretty much I made a character, and let's just say this was back when I didn't know how to play D&D or anything, so like, which is really funny because it's kind of how I play now. You know what? Here's a story that's okay to share on Twitch, because this was from a home game, because that's normally now when I'm a player, it's not on Twitch. I love GMing, DMing. I love that side of the table so much.
Yeah.
But I made an Owlin monk, and he was this old cranky ex-criminal, and oh no, if I'm going to do his voice, I need to get a quick sip. But like we were playing Icewind Dale, and to avoid any spoilers, we pretty much took this building and turned it into like a bar, and we had to like, but the thing is there was no alcohol, and so what we ended up doing is that we built a fire and brought in snow and melted it, and we're like selling it to everybody in the town, to where let's see, this pretty much everyone's like, yeah, we're buying this drink and everything. It was like, what are we calling it? I don't know what came over me. It was like, it's demon piss. and it's just like, it's just warm water. I'm like, they don't need to know that. So yeah, we started this whole thing, and there's just a town that loves boiled snow, and they call it demon piss. But the big thing is they let me in charge of the register, and so we made like 37 gold. And later, everyone's just like, "So do we make any money?" No, not at all. So that character just pocketed that money, and then we only play once a month, so they forgot that. But like the iconic thing about character that really built that character is once again, this is a spoiler. Like there's a part of my character that's a little bit of spoiler for Icewind Dale, so I will leave that out. But there was pretty much I got crit, my head got cut off as the level 2 character, and I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. And then we're sitting there, and I'm like, hold up. And I turn to the DM, and I'm like, hey, did it have this type of damage? And the DM looks at me, he's like, yeah. Oh my goodness. And he's like, you're still alive. And it's just like, everyone's like, so you just see this old decrepit owl just head just twist back on, it's just like, I'm back. And that became the whole thing for that character, where he pretty much believed he was a god because he never died, and then he did. So
right on.
But yes, that was a very fun time.
Right on. So Starheart Dragon also asks, if you could trade your day with the life of a comic book character, who would you choose from Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, and Boom Studio? Wow, that's a lot of.
Oh man, I don't know too many in the Dark Horse or Boom runs.
How about DC and Marvel then?
Yeah, DC and Marvel. I think in DC, I would love to be Blue Beetle. I just love that whole concept, like the alien suit and everything. Like, he's such a cool character that I wish got. Like, I know he had a movie. I don't know how well it did, but he's one of those characters that I wish more people like knew about, and just he has such a cool thing. Like, Green Lantern, like that whole thing. It's just crazy. Like the Green Lantern stuff, as well. But yeah, I don't know. The Blue Beetle, he's like definitely one of my favorites. That I would like, that kind of thing, just that alien tech suit, and just I don't know. I think that's really neat. For Marvel, that's a problem with Marvel, because most Marvel characters have terrible lives. And so, which I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how much I would want to like really trade. Oh man, that one's tough. But it's like, what one? Oh man, and of course my brain's like blanking out. I was like, hit me Wolverine. I'm like, no, Wolverine's life literally sucks.
I know, I'm trying to think.
Something came to my mind. If you guys
go ahead. Well,
I think for Marvel, a great choice would be Longshot, but not a lot of people know that character.
Yeah,
but I mean, he's like the luckiest being alive, and so it seems like a perfect kind of person to live their life for a day, you know?
Yeah, it was. I think I have like a trade of Longshot saves the universe. I know some, like a lot of people's like maybe go-to answer would be like Deadpool, and it's like, no, do you understand like how terrible it would be to like have, like, you only see the external side, like really think about the character that you want to be.
Yeah.
And it's just like Deadpool, like he doesn't, like, there's a whole storyline where like he literally doesn't remember his daughter because his brain regenerated so much, and it's just like he remembers the memory but doesn't remember her, and it's just like that's a whole storyline. Like there's Wolverine is like, if you don't know Wolverine's story, just go on Wikipedia. It's all there. Like,
no, we're good. I'm good on that one too.
Yeah, it's maybe Doctor Strange. I think
yeah, I can see that.
I think that'd be a fun thing of, man, I would be able to run the best Call of Cthulhu campaigns.
That's true. You could. That would be amazing. I see your point there.
Like, did you fudge your roll? Oh, now it's real. But yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. I don't know enough to be able to answer at all.
It's all good.
How about that next question, Druid?
Oh, Lord Alexandra. Since you love spam so much, have you ever thought of making your own luncheon meat?
Luncheon meat.
Luncheon meat. Luncheon meat.
I honestly, I haven't, and I don't even know where. Like, I know Spam, like, literally, I think a month after I finished the Spam stuff, came out with a Korean barbecue flavor, and everyone's like, you got to go get it. And I'm like, no, I'm good. So, which I heard is good heated. Sorry, what?
Not touching that.
Yeah, from compared to some of their other flavors, I'm like, you know what, that one might be good. But I don't know. I think anything I would think of, like the maple one, it's like a little bit of a sweeter Spam, which that one's good. Okay. Yeah, homemade luncheon meat is pretty simple to can. Yeah, I never looked into it, and it never crossed my mind, but now that's in my head, it will probably just fester until I end up looking it up and seeing if I want to do it.
Way to go.
Yep.
The seed has been planted.
That's.
I guess you have to follow him now, Alex, to see if he follows through.
Yeah. Starheart also asks, what's your favorite dish to cook and what's your favorite dish to order out?
Oh man. Favorite dish to cook. Like, honestly, if it's not for a stream, I'm very simple. It's like, give me a rice or like a noodle, and then I'll put other stuff on there. Or like a hash brown. Like, I'm very, very simple when it comes to my like day-to-day eating. Just especially since I'm doing some like health stuff to make sure that like I'm just not just constantly expanding from all the food I'm like intaking. So but yeah, I think from like day to day, like it'd be there. But I think if it was something just for fun, like yeah, I don't know. Like I'm very simple when it comes to food. Like, it doesn't take much to eat, and food for taking out. So my girlfriend is introducing to me to Cantonese food, and so she couldn't watch the stream, so she's like, is there gonna be on it? I'm like, I'm pretty sure it'll be a YouTube video. So if she made it this far, I will probably get a message and be like, so you like the Cantonese food? I'm like, yeah, I eat it. She makes fun of me because she definitely eats way more than I do, and I'm like, hey, I don't know, like I don't know what it's wrong with me now, because it's like I used to eat a ton when I go out to restaurants, and I think just not going out and just cooking like my own food in portions, I'm just like, why is everything so big here? So, but yeah, right now Cantonese food is definitely something that's been interesting to me. There's dim sum, I think that's what it's called, where it's like a bunch of, like, it's a type of meal. I think I'm gonna hear it. But it's like, it's a bunch of like small dishes, and like you just order a whole bunch of stuff. And like I had that once, and I'm like, oh man, that's really good. They had this thing. It was like I don't know, it was like deep fried tofu or something there, but it was like a fried bowl with like shrimp and something else. I don't remember what it's called, but that was really good. And just everything else. It's just, I don't know what has happened with my stomach over the past year, where it's like when I go out to eat, I can't eat a lot, which is good with health stuff I'm trying to do. But
sure,
I'm like, I'm like, I don't want to waste the food.
All right, Druid gets
Ugh.
the last question of the interview tonight, and we'll wrap things up. This is an interesting one, again from Starheart. Go for it, Druid.
If you could DM for a group of your choosing, and they could not say
no, who would you choose and what would you run?
Oh man.
The possibilities to that question is endless.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because like I could easily see some people saying like, oh man, here's this big name or anything. And it's like, I honestly don't know the big names any like so
Same.
it might be a little bit disappointing, but it's like I would love to get I actually just thought of I have two answers, I guess. I would love to get the original group back together. They're all like doing different things now on my channel, but it's it's all my IRL friends when we ran a game. And hold on, let me turn around. What would I want them to run? I would love to run Pendragon. That's what I would love to run.
Ooh.
For people who are unfamiliar with Pendragon, it's Chaosium's King Arthur stories.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many cool things about it. I love King Arthur's tales. I grew up reading them. Love Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.
A man after my own heart. One of Star Kitty, my wife's and a fellow streamer, favorite campaigns, and one of mine as well that I did. It was a year-long campaign. It was set in a post-Arthurian world that I created. And I used a ton of different Arthurian lore. Some of the obscure stuff, like Merlin lives backwards through time, and originally came from Atlantis, and all kinds of really amazing things, and tied it all together, and even used a lot of the Arthurian locations, and so like you just spoke to my heart, brother.
Did you see? I think it came out 2 years ago. The Green Knight.
It was so good.
It was so good. It made me go. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm coughing. Yeah,
You're fine.
I loved that movie, and I love the original one for it's comedic, right? The whole Sean Connery was Sean Connery in the original, but yeah, I saw the one you're talking about, and it was amazing.
Yeah, if you guys want, like, I think that's probably. I don't know if there's any other modern King Arthur tales that aren't like King Arthur is like, this is the historic take, and it's like, why is it boring?
Oh, you haven't seen the original Excalibur from 1981?
No, I didn't.
Trust me,
but
if you like Arthurian stuff, it is the definitive movie for anything King Arthur and Excalibur and stuff. You will like, it'll blow your mind. It's one of my top 3 favorite movies. In fact, it's my number 2 favorite movie.
I'm going to write it on my credit card bill right here so I don't forget it.
I think you can either get it on YouTube or Amazon Prime or but it's Excalibur from 1981. It had a ton of big name actors before they were big name. And they were bit parts in there. Patrick Stewart, Liam Neeson, and
I have heard of it. I haven't seen it. Yeah.
I promise you, like, if you like Arthurian stuff, it was made from they used the book Le Morte d'Arthur, which is one of the definitive kind of compilations of Arthurian legends. And they really did it justice. And I don't think any Arthurian movie has been anywhere close to as good as that until The Green Knight, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, The Green Knight, it was just, they definitely like updated some things for like the modern audience, like from the original tale, but it's just like, it still has that vibe, and like The Green Knight, it just feels intimidating, and you're like, oh my goodness, it's so good. But then it's also an A24 film, which it's like, it's got that A24 flair, which I like. But
agreed.
But yeah, it's It's movie worth watching.
Indeed. And you know what else is worth watching? This man right up there. Please, guys. I'm talking about you, Itisdpayne. It's been an honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much. Did you want to say anything else, Druid, to Mr. Itisdpayne?
I'm so thankful that you were here. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
This
thanks for
could
having
easily
me.
have been like a 3.5 hour long conversation, which
Yes.
is all of the things that we're all super into. I also would like to say here publicly, next time that you're planning a charity event, please let us know.
Let us know.
One of my absolute favorite thing is promoting other people's things.
Yep.
And I will help with promotion however I can.
Mhm.
And Stormkeep has your back on that, so
That's
just
right.
let us know.
And we have a fun little animated newscast that we do called the Stormkeep Crier, in which we announce events from people in the community. And it doesn't have to be somebody who's directly in the community. From our point of view, you're just now absorbed into Stormkeep forever, just because you came on the show and we love you. And even if you can't, pop into our streams very often, we totally get IRL schedules, stream schedules, all that stuff.
Yeah, everybody's doing their thing, but we can still support
Right,
however
exactly.
we can.
Regardless of all that stuff, like if you have, when you're ready, let us know. We would love to put it in one of our new little newscasts.
Yeah, we'll do. I know this year's one's already done, and now it's like, okay, what do I want to do? But no, I will definitely remember that. And yeah, I don't know if it works out. Maybe you guys can join. Or I'm always looking for people.
Awesome.
I'm in.
With that, thank you again for joining us. Itisdpayne, and you have a wonderful evening, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Druid, this is always the bittersweet moment. But man, what a like I said, guys, what a multi-talented, multifaceted person he's exactly the positive, wholesome kind of folk that we love to highlight.
Yes.
And speaking of positive and wholesome, we got an amazing guest coming on next Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. A friend to all of us. I'll let you say it, Druid.
Ratatash, guys! We have on Ratatash next week at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm so thankful.
Indeed.
So excited.
Yep. Can't wait to get to know Ratatash even better. She's been a fixture in the community since we met her through King Gildan, and it's just an honor to have her on the show. So
yes.
With that, I'm ready to wrap up. How about you, Druid?
Let's do this.
Okay. Thank you for coming to the show.
Please drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below.
And if you're listening to the podcast,
please rate and review the episode.
We are Bandwidth
and Banter.
Thank you.
And good night. Goodbye. Goodbye.